Oh my goodness, we're back with a kind of a get ready with me style. I'm just gonna do my base and then I'm actually saving the eye look for another video. But I thought I would sit down and chat with you guys, talk about some stuff. We're starting out with the Glossier Cookie Butter Balm.com, putting that all over the lips. It gives a very warm look to the lips, but it's actually more of like a lip mask to me. I've been using this, and I keep another one in my car as a salve, and it's so nice for these winter months. Like, my hands are getting really dry and chapped from constantly, washing my hands and doing dishes, all the things that you do in summer as well, but it really affects you in the wintertime. So thanks so much for joining me. Let's keep going on. I'm Kendra Morgan Official, and I put out content weekly centered around makeup brushes, single eyeshadows, and sunscreen. So if you haven't already, subscribe. I started out with my Super Goop Play. This is my trusty friend. I recommend it. I buy it in the 18-ounce container for, A, ease of use, B, just because. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. We're going to go ahead and do eyes first, and then we'll go, oh no, actually we won't do eyes first. We will do base. But I am going to go ahead and get my eyelids prepped and primed. I like to do that, A, because I like a couple of minutes for my primer to sit down before I go in with anything, and then I always kind of like end up having to grab my mirror. Base. Haven't used this one in a while, guys. Folks, haven't used her in a while, so it's now mine, so I can just slap this puppy on my face. But I used to have these in my kit when I used to do makeup. It was part of my bridal line, so kind of excited now. So I'm just using the medium shade on the outer perimeters of my face, and then on the inside I am using the lighter shade. I don't even have any concealer, folks. The concealer that I was going to switch to was the Natasha Denona one, and I switched. I used it a couple times just to make sure that the shade was okay. The shade is okay. The finish, however, is so super matte, even on my oiliest of oil, slick skin. It's pretty drying, so I think that one's gonna have to be in for the summer. So now I'm kind of like, do I break my no buy and get a concealer, or I think I ruled out doing that. I think I opted to just use foundation for a little while until it gets warmer, and then it should be okay. This foundation, looks just how I thought it did. Very beautiful on the skin. Let me get even more light so it looks even more beautiful on me. Alright. I do like to take it out a notch and put the sponge to the face and really like level this all off, but I think we're doing. You would not believe the number of clients that I used to have that, and they just really needed like a very sheer wash of color, and this was it. This really was nice for them. So, moving on, still using the Soul Body. We're about to hit pan. I know you guys can see that little dip in there. Don't act like you can't. Grab this guy right here. I am going to have to powder thoroughly. This is not a foundation I can go without setting. Other folks I have done without setting because they are super dry, so the skincare ingredients in this formula actually settles down right into their skin, and it just goes on really nicely. But for here, not so much. Me, no, not really. I'm just doing like ever so slightly of a bronze, because we are, still in the middle of winter. We're not, tanning bed folks anymore, we know. And I don't self-tan, really. I have used the B-Tan, which was the first one, and then I got some tanning drops that you can put with your lotion, and it actually looked really, really nice, but it's kind of a pain in the tuchus to use, so I'm like, do I want to keep doing this or not? Blush. Oh, wait a minute. I found my sponge. I'm going to use it really quick. I really don't think I'm going to need concealer. This is a secret, folks, and I have done this before. I don't use concealer on little miss, 15, 16-year-olds unless I need to help correct the shade. I might use like a dab of concealer, and I'm talking a dab, literally a dab. But other than that, I don't use concealer if it's not necessary. You can bring your foundation up and really, lay it into this under eye area, and then you can set it, and that is enough coverage. Do not let the world of, capitalism tell you you need a good concealer. No, you don't. No, you don't. Kind of a mental health check-in. Still have not purchased any makeup. However, I've been tempted by a few products. Let's talk about those few products while we're sitting here getting ready. So one of the products that I saw that I was like very tempted, like, do I want to break my no buy over this? And that was the Physicians Formula Dream Team palette. They have 6 shades of bronzer, blush, and highlighter. And actually, I think there's only one highlighter in there. There's 1 powder, 2 blushes, and 2 bronzers. And that to me is like my all-time perfect palette. I want 2 bronzers to be able to like mix and match a custom shade. I want 2 blushes. I want like a neutral and maybe like a peach or a mauve, either one. Rosy is fine as well. I only need 1 highlighter. I rarely use highlighter, first off, and second off, this work blush is really looking super nice, and it's also very like natural, whereas my Glossier one was a little bit extreme, and it was getting pretty heavy-handed by the end of the period. I did kind of think about breaking my no buy for that, but I'm not. I'm gonna add it to my wish list. And I do have the butter bronzer in shade light, and then there was a matte bronzer, so I already have one of the shades in there. So I would be spending about $14 to $15 for 5 shades. I did see a couple of the other launches from Physicians Formula, and I'll just kind of like slip some pictures up here, but I don't remember what they were called, but one of them was a blush, and then there was like a couple of bronzers. Those definitely looked very enticing. But here's the thing. It's all packaging, folks. It is all packaging. None of it is really truly something that I don't already own in my collection. You guys saw from and I'm powdering with the Naked. Here's Too Beauty. I think this brand got discontinued. It was a Chinese brand that was featured on AliExpress, and they had the same, and I'm talking identical, ingredient list as the MAC Studio Fix powder, which I also have, by the way, and it looks the same, except for this is a better shade match for me. But I don't think you can get it anymore. I could possibly link it. Actually, no, I think on my last one I tried to link it and I couldn't. This is some of the best powder I have found. I love it. I wish it was like maybe between $5 and $6, $5 and $7, and you didn't have to pay shipping or anything like that. And it was AliExpress, so it's like, okay. Usually you're safe with makeup on AliExpress as long as it's a reputable brand. So like here's Too Beauty. You Can Be is a pretty large one. Trying to think of some of the other ones. Coco She isn't that large, but they are, I know them. Yeah, so let me go ahead and set underneath the eyes. That will add additional coverage. I'll just use my sponge here and just lightly tap in to my under eye area. And you can see there's a little bit of extra coverage, and actually it's really kind of like almost darkened up the under eye area right in here. I'm excited to see what this blush does for me. I have not even opened it, have never tried this formula. I'm super enticed. I don't know if this is available anymore, but this is the Born to Blush Creamy Peach. It's by that Believe Beauty, which they got so many good reviews for the foundation. I really wanted to try them. So maybe that can be like, I don't know, in the future. And I don't have any brushes, like nothing. I guess I do have this face buffer one, but I don't really want to use that. I'm going to use this one. I've seen Marlena use it for a blusher. Ooh. It's almost kind of got like a white base to it. I'm not sure I'm going to like it. Let me try it. I'm going to stick kind of to the high points of my cheek. I don't hate it. Yeah, it's it reminds me of like a white base, like a pastel. Definitely looks like a pastel. Kind of covering up that. I wish I could just, I don't know. I wish it were more like a coral or poppy shade. You know, and like this would be, I guess, a nice blush draping shade. I don't know. Maybe it's the brush. Maybe it's the brush. Okay, so here's the blush draping that I kind of just like toyed with, and then here's just the regular application. I think it's a blush draping shade. It's a good blush draper, and then you could go in with a little bit deeper, kind of more in that center part where you want to focus a little bit, but this would be a nice like wash of color. Yeah, definitely think that would be good. All right. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, I'm eager to use Urban Decay Sin as a highlighter on my skin. I don't think I've ever used it before today on my skin. It is pretty good for my skin tone up to light medium. So light to light medium. I wouldn't go fair. It has looked a little bit gray casty, and I wouldn't go darker either. If your skin tone's a little bit darker, I wouldn't do it either. I don't know. I thought I was going to leave one of those brushes in there, but let's just use the cheek highlighter brush. Oh, it's really powdery. I don't know, folks. Not bad. Kind of gives me like these Barbie vibes with the blush, the way the color is. Alright, that is it for the Shop My Stash. I am going to be doing a comparison video of the Sydney Grace, so we won't get into... Ooh, but let me go ahead and swatch the 4 shades that I picked out from the Celestial Divinity Pat McGrath. So the first shade is called... Don't even know. I'm going to have to grab my palette. Dragonfly. Yeah, that's right. Ooh, there you go. You can see a shift. Ooh, you can. Okay, the next shade in the palette, right here. And it is Venetian, no, it's Smoked Amethyst. Yeah, you can kind of see that smoky vibe right there. There you go. Okay, then I grabbed this shade here in the corner, and it is Cosmic. You would have to have this entire palette to own these shades. I don't think any of these are available as singles or in any of her other palettes. So, there we go. It's a really, really nice duochrome. These are all duochromes, I believe. Okay, and then this one, Odyssey, it is this shade right there. Oh, that one's just like, it has a slight duochrome, but it's like a neutral. So those are the 4 like pretty shades that I picked from my Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity shade palette. And then of course I will be doing a look with this. It'll be featured in another video if it hasn't already aired, and it is going to be comparing the Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette and my single shade comps that I put together. So thanks so much for joining me in this Get Ready With Me using some shades that I already have for my collection and some makeup that I already have in my collection. Let me know down in the comments what makeup you are rotating through Did you get any empties yet? And how are you doing on your low buy or no buy, or your buying phase if you're in a season of buying? How are you doing? Let me know in the comments down below, any which way you go. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.
With you, I can be sad.